Chapter 46. The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, 1910. In a nutshell, it's natural and logical that you should become rich through the use of your creative powers. When you come across a book with a title like The Science of Getting Rich, you may be forgiven for suspecting that it's a greed manual by an author of questionable motives. It's worth keeping an open mind, however, as Wattles' classic is essentially a metaphysical work that deals with a very earthly issue. The monistic view of the universe, on which the book is based, says that everything in the universe is linked up and part of the whole. It's the basis of Oriental philosophy and religion, and in addition, Wattles argues, the foundation for Descartes, Spinoza, Leibniz, Schopenhauer, Hegel, and Emerson, philosophers whom he spent years studying. It's also the faith of the New Thought churches, which are remarkably light on dogma and strong on the betterment of humanity. Whereas the traditional Christian church linked spirituality with poverty, the religion of Wattles emphasizes the naturalness of abundance. He took this to its logical end by saying that a person couldn't really fulfill their potential if they had to struggle financially. In fact, the evolution of the world depended on each of us seeking riches in an honest way. Let's go further into this short but intriguing work, one of the 20th century's early prosperity classics. Tapping into the flow. What is the source of wealth? All the great prosperity writers say that the origin of wealth is thought rather than things. Napoleon Hill called this source infinite intelligence. Deepak Chopra named it the field of pure potentiality. And both Wattles and Catherine Ponder describe the formless stuff from which all matter springs as substance. Can abundance really emerge from apparent nothingness? Consider what the great inventor Thomas Edison said. Ideas come from space. This may seem astonishing and impossible to believe, but it's true. Ideas come from out of space. This comment is found in The Magic of Believing, whose author, Claude Bristol, remarked, "Surely Edison should have known, for few men ever received or gave forth more ideas." The premise of Wattles' science is that if you purposely place a clear thought in the formless substance, it cannot help but find material expression. Through visualization of what you desire on a repetitive basis, the thing will come into being through the organization of existing modes of production. This is the secret shortcut to gaining what you need. Yet humanity, through most of history, has approached this from the other way around, by trying to create only from existing materials, applying thought to things through manual labor. Wattles notes that we have only just begun to operate as God does, who is, after all, continually creating something from nothing. Through the science of mind, we are now starting to see that we can manifest things more easily and more perfectly by first impressing the idea of them on formless substance. If you accept that everything comes from something immaterial, how you live and act will be different from someone who believes that the foundation of everything is matter. Appearances alone will cease to form the basis of your decisions, because your underlying knowing will be that the universe is abundant and ever renewing. In Wattles' words, to think health when surrounded by the appearances of disease, or to think riches when in the midst of appearances of poverty, requires power. But he who acquires this power becomes a mastermind. He can conquer fate. He can have what he wants. The fact of increase. Nature always seeks expression and increase. This is the one reliable fact of the universe. It seeks greater sophistication and refinement. In short, progress. Therefore, Wattles argues, there can be no lack unless God is to contradict himself and nullify his own works. It's natural for you to want more, and the desire to be rich must be understood in terms of organic growth and progress. Caveat: what you seek must be in harmony with the universe. It should be to further your fullest expression, not merely for excitement and entertainment. You do not want to get rich in order to live swinishly for the gratification of animal desires. That is not life. You want wealth so that you can pursue your interests and develop your mind, travel, surround yourself with beauty, and be in a position to give generously. Creation, not competition. Wattles reminds you that the substance that creates the evolving universe does not pick and choose who it will favor. Its power is open to all, and its flow of riches is endless. There's no need to be fearful of what you will get. You do not have to drive sharp bargains, he says, and no sense in trying to take things away from others. These ideas of competition do not reflect the reality of an abundant universe. The concept of competition rests on the belief that there's one pie to be carved up, whereas creation rests on an acknowledgement of infinite riches. You need to become a creator rather than a competitor. However, what about all the people who have become rich on the plane of competition? They're like the dinosaurs of prehistoric eras, Wattles says, in that they've been a vital part in an evolutionary process of organizing production, but are invariably brought down by the same logic of competition that thrust them to the fore. Their riches were neither satisfying to themselves nor enduring in a wider societal sense. Consider that other people can't beat you to it if you're creating something unique out of the imagination, skills, and experience that make up your unique personality. Big organizations cannot shut you out of prosperity if you follow your own path to it. Wattles' further tip for real-world prosperity is that you must endeavor to provide something that buyers feel is greater in value than the price they've paid for it. To use a contemporary term, you must over-deliver. Harmonious gratitude. Many will attest that the best way to draw something to you is to give thanks that you already have it. Because the nature of the universe is abundance, it rewards those who are actively aware of the fact and are continually grateful for it. When you're attuned to the source that creates all things, it's natural that it will provide you with the things you need. Gratitude will prevent you from falling onto the plane of competitive thought and lack, and make you realize the blessings that are already yours. Wattles refers to the Bible's words, "Draw nigh unto God, and he will draw nigh unto you," as a statement of fact, because thanks cannot fail to move the giver, and indeed will inspire them to give more. Wattles further advises you not to spend your time complaining about the world, railing against magnates and politicians. These people are part of Earth's evolution, and their actions allow you physically to pursue your opportunities efficiently and in peace. Instead, cultivate gratefulness. Never talk about your past financial troubles. Wattles says, if you want to become rich, you must not make a study of poverty. Don't care how poverty's created or sustained, even if you have an interest in the history of tenement dwellers or hunger in developing countries. Look only for what makes for riches. The poor need inspiration more than charity, and so you should endeavor to show them the path to wealth rather than trying to alleviate poverty. Final comments. The question must be asked, why seek to be rich? Some will say that we should want less, settling for a standard of living that's less taxing on the earth. This is no doubt true, but it fails to take account of human nature. What is a person if not a bundle of aspirations? Desire is the engine that drives the world, and without ever-increasing wealth, there would be a miserable gap between what is wanted and what can be afforded. The nature of life is growth and increase, so it would be contradicting nature to restrict the urge to plenty. It's also a fact that you cannot seek the higher things in life if you have to fight for the basics. Moral and spiritual greatness, Wattle says, is possible only to those who are above the competitive battle for existence. You will not be able to pursue what fascinates you or fulfill your intellectual potential if you have no money to buy books or free time to read. It's also much easier to have a positive view of life when you're able to surround yourself with items of beauty. And not least, Wattles points out, to live soulfully, a human being must have love. And it's difficult to love when you are poverty-stricken. In the 21st century, we seem much more open to the idea that spirituality and wealth go together. For this, we partly have to thank the pioneers of prosperity consciousness, who've removed the possibility of personal riches from the realm of guilt to rightful expectancy. The science of getting rich will be dismissed as quaint by some, but it was actually ahead of its time. Despite its mystical language, it's profoundly practical. Wallace D. Wattles. Biographical information